Are you moving to Satellite Beach and looking for the best spot? Well, stick around because that's what we're talking about today. What's up, everybody? I'm Rachel Langley with Florida Lifestyle Realty, your Space Coast Realtor, right here in Satellite Beach. Today, I am talking to a Satellite Beach resident, and she's gonna give her account of what it's like to live here. And if this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is about working, eating, sleeping, playing, and living in the Space Coast and in Satellite Beach, then make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring the little bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. We are getting calls, emails, text messages from people, and we absolutely love it. We have specialized in helping people relocate, and we'd love to help you too. But we can't do that unless you give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, because we've got your back when it comes to moving to Florida. Now, let's go talk about Satellite Beach. All right, Nicole, so you live in Satellite Beach.
I do.
Tell us how long you lived there.
I have lived there 15 years.
Where did you live before Satellite Beach?
So in Miami, briefly in other places, but mostly in Miami, South Florida area.
You grew up in Miami, right?
I did.
All right, so you're raising a family in Satellite Beach. So how would you compare growing up in Miami to Satellite Beach?
So not having raised a family in South Florida, I can tell you just from my experience with my friends and family that still live down there, it's a lot of a slower pace. So I would say it's slow, friendly, smaller area. So
Satellite
everything's
Beach.
Satellite Beaches.
Okay.
So it's a little more quaint.
What would you say are the cons of living in Satellite Beach?
That we don't have that many restaurants yet. So we're getting there. There's a lot of great places to eat, but we just don't have as many as some of the bigger cities. So we do still travel to get good food. But I would say that's the only thing. Love living in Satellite Beach, but I also like to eat good food. So.
Yeah. But it's close to Melbourne.
Yes.
So Melbourne is that where you usually will venture out for restaurants?
We go across the bridge to Melbourne, but we do travel as far as Orlando sometimes.
Oh, wow.
To eat.
Yeah, you're a driver. I'm
Yes.
not a driver. I don't like to drive far.
I'm not afraid. That is one bonus about living in South Florida. It's like you can drive anywhere and get good stuff. So I'm not afraid to drive.
How does the traffic compare from South Florida to...
Oh, goodness. Well, there is no traffic in Satellite Beach. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Florida, it's an hour to get 2 miles.
So what would you say the pros are then?
So the pros are Satellite Beach is a great location. So you're centrally located, so it takes about 20 minutes to go either direction, south or north. So you can get to the south part of the county pretty quickly because of where we're at, and then the north part of the county. So nothing's far away, which is great. Proximity to water. If you love to live on the water and do water sports, you've got the beautiful beach and you've got the rivers and canals to play on. So definitely that bonus. And then all the parks. We have several parks with walking trails, workout, exercising, animal-friendly parks, pickleball courts, tennis courts. I mean, we've got it all. So there's just a lot of stuff to do outdoors.
All right, so you raise a family here. As real estate agents, we aren't supposed to talk too much about schools, but what we can tell you is there's a lot of A-rated schools in Satellite Beach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that the population in the schools is very small. So the student to teacher ratio is great. And so my kids have gone to the same school. Both of them have gone through the same elementary school, and it was less than 300 students, which is really cool. So they get a lot of great attention from their teachers and the administrators, and it's a smaller community. So everybody knows everyone, which is really great, especially in those elementary years. I really enjoyed that.
Right. So in Satellite Beach, there is unincorporated and incorporated, right? So which part do you live in?
I live in an unincorporated Satellite Beach.
Awesome. So could you tell us a little bit of the differences of...
So in unincorporated Satellite Beach, our taxes are lower, which is great. But also if you have a lot of beach toys, if you've got trailers or an RV type of vehicle, larger vehicles, you're able to park them in your driveway, on the side of your yard. And I mean, obviously a lot of people park them behind the fence, but you're not limited to the restrictions of the city limits, which have very strict rules about them being parked behind the four corners of the yard and only allowed in your driveway certain hours over a course of the weekend. So you're very limited. And so a lot of people find themselves paying for storage for those larger boats and RVs, and you don't have to do that if you live in unincorporated.
Right. But on the flip side of it, if you don't want to, see that all the time in your neighborhood, then you might want to live in the city area, the incorporated area.
Absolutely.
You kind of mentioned this earlier, but what are some fun things to do in Satellite Beach? What do you find yourself doing on the weekends?
So my daughter's an avid soccer player, so there's quite a few soccer fields. So we're playing a lot of soccer and pickleball. So there's a pickleball court that's, public that we can all go to on Sundays and play pickleball. And then there's a lot of just walking trails. So there's two different parks that we walk in near the library in Satellite Beach, and then one in Gleason Park, which is lovely. And you can it's shaded areas, but you can see the lake and the pond, and sometimes there's alligators, sometimes you see the turtles. You walk around, you see the manatees, so it's just nice to be outside.
Sure.
And close to home,
Awesome.
you know?
Yeah. And what about beach access? You know, what are some of the beach access points in Satellite Beach, and, you know, are they nice beaches?
So there's several. So depending on what you enjoy doing, if you're looking to have like a more private beach, there's several beaches that are just parking. You go over the cross and, you know, the walk, and you're there at the beach, and it's a more secluded area. But if you're into surfing, you've got the beaches where you watch all the surfers and people parasailing and doing those kind of things, surf fishing, a lot of that. So if you want to be where the action is, there's plenty of beach options for that. If you want to host a barbecue or have a, you know, just a day with the family and play volleyball on the beach, we have those amenities available at another beach in Satellite. So there's just a lot of different options, which is great. So depending on your mood, you've got the beach of choice.
And you're close to, it's in Indian Harbor Beach, but you're close to what we refer to as the dog park, right? The dog beach
so
park.
Canova Beach, so you can bring your pups and they can run around, and it's really cool. So
Yeah, and also let's talk about real estate, because we're both agents. What would you say is a starter home price in Satellite Beach?
So right now I would say $450 is about the average.
No pool, right?
No pool, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, around 1,500 to 1,600 square feet. If you want to be on the water, expect to pay a little more. If you want a pool, a little bit more. But it's still such a great area, and obviously a lot of older homes, but there are a few developments that have newer construction, and there's one going up right now called The View.
And actually, let's talk about older homes too, because a lot of Brevard County beachside was developed in the 1960s. So
50s over here.
1950s, okay, 1950s and 1960s. So, you know, we do run into some issues, not major issues, but what are some things to look out for when you're looking for a home to buy?
So you want to just make sure that when you're having your home inspection that you have the electrical check, that you check for the drains and the water lines. We have in a lot of the homes in Satellite Beach what you call cast iron. So over time they have disintegrated. So you just want to make sure you have an inspector go in and scope those lines and make sure you're not getting into an issue or have any, you know, concerns.
So some previous owners have actually already changed out the piping. So that's always a nice plus when you see that on a listing, if that's already been done. You had to do that recently.
Yes, I did. I did. That was a big project. Once it's done, it's great because you don't have to deal.
And you live so close to the beach, you know, you gotta pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons. And then electrical is important too, because a lot of, obviously the codes back in 1950s aren't what they are today. So it's just important to make sure there's no concern for an electrical issue. But your inspector will be able to tell you all those things.
Okay. I know you mentioned there aren't that many restaurants in Satellite Beach, but if you were to choose, what would be your favorite restaurant?
I would say my number one is Shea Kwan's, and it is a Thai restaurant.
Ooh,
that is delicious. Thai food. It's locally owned and operated, so it's a really great place. It's nothing fancy, no white linens, you know, kind of situation, but it's great Thai food cooked with lots of love by great people. So
you're also very close to Cocoa Beach, so downtown Cocoa Beach also has some great restaurants too, right?
Yeah. No, there's lots of options.
Only
We're getting
10 minutes, right?
10 minutes away, and we've got some great seafood restaurants. Like nice little coffee shop. So yeah, we're getting there. I mean, Brevard County's definitely getting there when it comes to food, but everything's close. Again, within 20 minutes, you can get just about anywhere.
Right.
So
and it's like, in order to find that perfect place that you may be thinking of, make sure you give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, somehow get in touch with us, because we've got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Rachel Langley with Florida Lifestyle Realty, and I'll see you on the next one.